Welcome to this breaking news update from Kevin Allen. First, a word from our sponsors. CashMap LLC. Give them a reach out today. Reach out to him today. Give him a reach out today. Sounds very bad. Dennis Williams, that's right. The founder of CashMap is waiting to talk to you today. He has developed a proprietary system to help you with your finances, taking all of your current bills each month, putting them into a specific payment order using monies that you wouldn't normally be taking from the bank. You'd be creating your own banking system. And I can tell you that I've witnessed personally many people reach out to Dennis, become a client with this cash map, and they're sharing it within their network. It's growing very fast. So I'm really, really super stoked that we have an opportunity right here with the Be Better podcast, of course, with the Prayed Up Network and Dennis Williams of Cash Map being a sponsor of this show and so many more. So this is the story. Why am I even coming up live today? It's been a little while since we've done some live. So I'm just going to get right into it and let me set up my devices so we're all good. And because I want to talk about, I had something fun happen, of course, and we all do this on social media. So I went onto my phone, right, and you can probably see what that says right there, right? And so just having some fun with it. This is my job ID. So you do one of those things on, all the platforms you do, right? And so I found it really cool because I was like, I put this thing in and it came back as my job. And my job came up as a pole dancer. And the salary, by the way, is $275,000 as a pole dancer. And some of the comments that came up there were, wow, maybe you should consider it. And obviously money would be good, but it's not about money, right? But I have some, I don't think they're funny. Okay, I don't want to call them funny, but I do think I have some stories about pole dancing that will be worth you listening to. And so it's kind of funny that, and here we go. We got, okay, that's not what we want to hear. Sorry about that, guys. Just trying to get, we're trying to do TikTok live at the same time. Okay, that's what we're trying to do. Right there. There we are. Okay, so really the best part about this concept of did I ever strip before? Was I a stripper? Did I dance on a pole? And it came from the thing on Facebook when you do the little scrolling thing. And I just came off an interview with a really cool guy that I met on TikTok. Actually, he has his own show, his own platform. He's involved with an online poker team as well. And Bars of Stars, check him out on TikTok. Really, really cool interview with him and it's gonna be coming out. I think at some point will get released today. And we are just talking about like past, right, and all these things. And it's funny because until I was walking with Christ, until I had God in my heart, I didn't know how to tell the truth. That's true. That is 100% the truth. I learned from some of the best liars in the business. I've learned from, that was in my own family, and then of course you get into the prison system and then into life, and you just learn how to lie or really ignore. Maybe I should say ignore some of those things. And I'm gonna, as a child, I wanted to be an entertainer. I've talked about this before. I always wanted to be an actor or something like that. So I always wanted to have that sense of whatever. And so when I was a young man, I was physically fit. And, they kind of said I was a good-looking boy, and so I got a lot of attention or whatever from women, and that was something that obviously was not probably healthy for me as well. But that being said, one day I got convinced, hey, you want to deliver some flowers to a lady for her birthday, okay? And so, of course, I'm like, all right, what's the deal? And they're like, all you got to do is take off your pants and have some shorts on with some flowers, no shirt on, going with a bow tie or something. I'm like, what is it? Chips and Dales? It's Chippendales. Uh, you know, uh, so listen, I've never had a set of abs in my life. I've been physically fit. I'm just telling the story. I've always been in good shape. Even at 54, I'm in better shape than most of my 54-year-old counterparts. I can guarantee you that. I got better shape to be in. But my point is that I never had that ripped ab. But so I'm like, I don't want to take my shirt off, to be honest with you, because I feel like my little, I was making dad bod cool before it was a dad bod, I guess. But I got convinced to do it. And so I did do this. I delivered the flowers, right? I went into the lady's birthday. I think she was like 90 years old, too. I was at that point, I was like, man, I hope I don't do too much here and get her way too wound up. But so the family hired me to do this. So I just started in the Department of Corrections. I was 21 years old, and I started to do this on the side. I started to do it on the side at parties. I went and danced at a couple parties, and I was making back then. I was probably making 100 to 150 bucks a night dancing with delivering flowers or birthday messages, and putting a show on. So I'm just saying it like it is. So when it came up today, you have a choice to put it up there or not, right? And it was humbling when it came up. And I'm talking about this on TikTok, this little job description, right? And that came up on my TikTok, and the reason I'm sharing it is because the pole dancer didn't end there, right? It wasn't good enough just to end there, because you see, this is how your past can follow you. And I'm humble enough to say this. So if you're humble enough to listen to me, I will say to you that this is a really humbling story, because um, I had a chance to get into politics after I retired from the Department of Corrections. So, but let's nip this in the bud. My career in pole dancing was very short. I'm short. It was a very unsuccessful one. I did not go on to get even offered for Magic Mike or any of that stuff. I do think I, at some point in my life, had really good dance moves. Let me get it out of the way. I probably can't dance anymore. And I probably would be really sore after a really good, even delivering some flowers or some balloons. I don't think I can handle it at my twilight age. But I did, at some point in my life, don uh, the rip away jeans, and they were Guess. They were Guess jeans. Who would have guessed? And and, and did that. And so it just came up, and we were funny, and there was people were commenting and stuff. And but the interesting part about it is, when I was a first selectman, actually running for the first selectman, which, from people, whoever, wherever you are, first selectman in Connecticut, and I think even California. Actually, Sonny Bono, I think, was the first selectman that died skiing. Check that at some point. I think, Mark, we got to check that. Sonny Bono was the first election. So I was the chief elected officer, but before I was running for that election against a an incumbent who had been in office for a long time, and so it got kind of ugly fast, because I started gaining some excitement. Small town, 13,000 people. Like 500 people may vote for you. I don't know. And I knew nothing about politics. I was just running because I was an alcoholic at the time, just retired at 42 years old, wasn't doing anything. I wanted to do a business, and said, "Hey, why do your own business when you go use taxpayers' money, right?" No, I'm just joking. That's a bad joke. But I did want to help the community at the time. And so I ran for office to become the first selectman. And during the debates, and during the process, this really sweet older lady at the time was one of my closest friends. His grandma came up to me, and she had a dollar bill in her hand. And in the dollar bill in her hand, she came up to me and she's like, "Hey, will you dance for me?" And I started saying, "Yeah, man, she's a beautiful old lady." She was actually with the town government for probably the longest out of anybody in the town, that I was the first selectman in. And I didn't understand the story at first. And she said to me, and now you got to remember, this is someone that was part of that was the Democratic Party. I ran as a Republican. And the crazy part is, she says, "Well, there's that rumor about you dancing on the pole dancing." And so I was like, "Ooh, somebody caught me." I figured right away that they're doing some kind of research on me. The paranoia was kicking in. I'm sure it was from the alcohol or all the bad decisions I was making in my personal life. I didn't want to get caught at. So I was thinking, wow, somebody's chasing me down. They're sharing information. And lo and behold, what it came down to is, my opponent had said that I was known to be a stripper, a male stripper, at known gay bars, homosexual male bars in the city of Providence. I will tell you, and I have nothing wrong with the gay people. I like the gay people. In fact, I talk all the time that I like the old fashioned gay people, where gay people were just cool, and it wasn't all about this other stuff about trying to some political decision, whatever stuff. I love gay people, but I'm not a gay people stripper. I don't want to strip for gay people, gay men. I didn't want to strip for that. I wouldn't strip now, even for not gay women or gay women. But I didn't want to do it, especially when it came to uh, for men. And I never was asked. But the interesting part about it was, when I ran for office, this was an ugly rumor being spread around our little New England town, and it was amazing. So when this popped up today about me, my little thing, and I put it out there just to have some chuckles, it kind of made me feel like, what? Here's a real story that I think people appreciate when you're real about your life and where you came from. And I don't say any of this, giving all glory to God, that I sit here in this home studio that I have been able to create from nothing with just amazing people in my life that I get to share, and I get to share stories. And these are fun stories to share, man. I'm not like a celebrity. I'm just an average everyday dude that just gets to talk to people, and sometimes we get interesting people, and sometimes we get just me. And I just, God's given me this amazing ability just to be so honest, and I want to share that, you know. Uh, I'm not making fun of stripping the industry. There are really probably a lot of good professionals in the industry. Maybe sometime we'll talk to somebody like that. We've certainly talked to different industries. We had Stormy Daniels on the show before, and we'll get Stormy hopefully back on again. And I'm not going to run away as a Christian from those conversations, but I also am not going to run away as a Christian from having a laugh. And let me get into this part of why it was so important today for me to bring this subject up as a humbling, honest man who walks with God. I laughed when I saw this come up. And I remember when that dollar bill was in that sweet lady's hands and she's like, "Hey, would you dance for me?" And then I found out that it was at a gate. And I was totally mortified. I was scared. I was sweating. I didn't want anybody to know. I didn't. And of course, uh, it didn't matter anyways. And I did win the election, and it went on to whatever political career I had. I think I can even claim this to my friends in Hartford, Connecticut, who are in the state house, former ones or current. I promise I will not tell all the secrets. God has given me this real crafty way not to have to talk. Just joking. But we will admit, my first year as a state representative, I might have been on the top of a table. I think I had a tank top on at least, replaying some of my earlier career dancing on the pole. And there you go. That's the story. That pole dancer once was a pole dancer, no longer. Uh, but if I could be more honest about any story that made me chuckle, or more about something that came up on my social media platform and say, you know what, just share this story because it's funny. It's as funny as if you guys heard me tell the story before about when I was so humbled, right, by the people at my job in corrections early on, knew I was going bald and it was really going crazy, making me nuts because of my vanity. And they sent me the GLH stuff, and I sprinkled the GLH stuff in my head. And I did it right before I went to my baptismal for me because I was raised with a pack of animals who didn't get me baptized. Just kidding, mom and dad, love you, but um, I had no God in my life, so I went to get baptized before my wedding with my son and daughter's mom, Melissa, who's a beautiful person. Just celebrated her birthday, April 1st. April, shout out to beautiful Melissa. And so we went there, and I ended up putting my head and the and it was the Father Cannon. He started pouring that holy water on me, and that holy water started coming down, and it started dripping the brown stuff from the GLH hairspray that you put in. It started to come down my face, and I looked up. It was a small congregation, but it was like when I looked up, I saw everybody, and I literally grabbed the scarf that was around the Father Cannon's neck. And I know it's not a scarf; it's probably called something. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. At the time, I didn't, and I wiped myself down. And boy, for years after that, me and Mister, Father Cannon, before he passed, we'd bumping each other at the fish night and during Lent, and we laugh about it. And you know what? Laughter is an important part of what we do in our world. And I want to get this kind of circle back so we can end this pop up here of disclosure. The admission that I once was a dancer, not a pole. I never danced on a pole. I never had a pole that I danced on. But yes, I have entertained several people with my moves back in the day, and it was something that I can look back and be proud of. I'm not ashamed of what I did, but I also know I wouldn't do it again. And at the same time, I want to be able to laugh at it, guys, because we take so much so serious. And some people in my walk as a Christian, uh, they get offended by even slight conversations of enjoyment. And I want to say this to some of the Christians I've met along the way. I've met some amazing people that take this kind of conversation and go, wow, he's doing his work, which is my work, is to communicate to people that maybe aren't believing, do believe, are looking to get their lives better, maybe sustain what they're trying to do. I'm looking to talk to anybody who wants to talk about the realness that's in your heart. There's no holding back and having real conversations, but don't hold back from the fun times, because laughter, I'm going to tell you, I would not have survived the last year or so without some incredible laughter. And I have other reasons why, but laughter was a big part of it. And I give a big shout out all the time to Theo Vaughn. Big shout out to Theo Vaughn. And you know what? I would say to you that Theo Vaughn, I've said it on this podcast before, is the number one podcast interviewer. And I would probably go to say, out of all the interviewers in the professional business of media, he is by far the best interviewer of all, and it's because of his oddities, right? And I'm not saying I got the oddities too. I'm got the same, whatever genetic thing, that he might have, and it is true. And you know, I'm not Theo. I say to you though that that's a guy right there, man. If you're feeling down in the dumps, go and check him out. Been watching a lot of podcasts and getting to know different personalities. Even the people that have been on my show, I'm starting to watch their stuff, and I'm getting better at what I do, which is that open conversation of honesty, and that's what people are finding their way to us on the Prayed Up Network. Kevin Allen show used to be. Now it is the Prayed Up Network. Of course, we are the Be Better podcast. It's going to be also announcing the Be Better tour, in which we're going to be traveling, bringing speakers, musicians, entertainers, inspirers, streets to the city, to the country, anywhere we can go. We're going to be talking, and I'm really proud. I just brought in for that project, and it's going to be led by a former superintendent right out of here. The doctor will be taking that over really soon. So we're wicked stoked about all this energy. And at the end of the day, this is your update, your news break, which I think I put this breaking news thing up here, which was kind of silly, right? Because I don't know if it's breaking news as much as you know, it's not breaking news. It wasn't breaking news, but I did at one point in my life. Kevin Allen reportedly admitted today that he did strip for a profession and never made $275,000 like predicted by Meta. Hope you enjoyed this update. Have a great day. Stay Prayed Up Network, Be Better Tour coming to you. We'll be announcing all those things coming up right here. We are in talks with our merch app guy. If you guys remember Cracking Skulls, that's right. Chad's going to be building out our webpage and our merch store. We're working with him on that and so many other projects. Just really excited. Yes, I did. I used to shake my tushy for a living. Well, not a living.